My child, come here. Stop holding your breath. Stop pretending you are not exhausted. I see you sitting there in the quiet of your room, staring at the ceiling, wondering why the phone does not ring the way it used to. Wondering why the doors you knocked on so desperately have turned into walls. Wondering why the prayers you prayed with tears streaming down your face seem to have hit a ceiling made of iron. You have been counting the days. You have been marking the calendar. You have been watching others receive the very things you begged me for. And a question has been growing in your heart like a thorn bush, quiet at first, but now sharp enough to draw blood. You ask yourself, have I been forgotten? You ask yourself, did I miss my moment? You ask yourself, is God even listening anymore? I am listening. I have not turned away. I have not grown tired of your voice. Your prayers do not bounce off the floor of heaven like stones off a locked gate. Every single tear you have cried has been collected. Every single whispered plea has been heard. But I have not answered the way you want me to answer, and that silence has become the heaviest weight you have ever carried. You do not understand why I am waiting. You do not understand why the blessing seems to hover just out of reach, close enough to smell, close enough to almost touch, but always just beyond your fingertips. And in your frustration, in your exhaustion, you have begun to believe a terrible lie. You have begun to believe that I am holding out on you. You have begun to believe that I do not want you to be happy. You have begun to believe that your past mistakes have disqualified you from the future I promised. Stop. Listen to me very carefully. I am not holding back because I do not love you. I'm holding back because I love you too much to destroy you. There is a danger you cannot see, my child. There is a trap hidden beneath the surface of the very blessing you are begging for. You see a gift. I see a test. You see an open door. I see a cliff you would run off if I opened it too soon. You see wealth or influence or a relationship or a platform or a breakthrough. I see fire that could either refine you or consume you, depending on the condition of your heart. And right now, in this painful, confusing season of waiting, I'm doing something far more important than giving you what you want. I'm preparing you to keep what you need. Do you remember Solomon? The man who had everything, the man who asked for wisdom, and I was so pleased with his request that I gave him riches and honor beyond any king who came before him or after him. Solomon did not fall when he was poor. Solomon did not fall when he was hungry. Solomon did not fall when he was fighting for his throne. Solomon fell when he had more gold than he could count, more women than he could love, more power than he could handle. The abundance did not bless him. It buried him. His heart, which had been pure when he was desperate, grew cold when he was full. The very blessings I gave him became the chains that dragged him away from me. And I'm telling you this not to scare you, but to save you. If I gave you what you are asking for right now, with your heart in its current condition, the gift would become a trap. The inheritance would become a curse. The promotion would become a destruction. You do not believe me. You think you are different. You think you are strong enough. You think you would never forget me if I just gave you the money, the spouse, the platform, the healing, the breakthrough. But I know what is inside you better than you know yourself. I know the secret pride that still lives in the corners of your heart. I know the addiction to approval that still whispers in your ear. I know the fear of man that still makes you compromise when no one is watching. And I refuse to give you a blessing that will exploit your weakness. I refuse to hand you a weapon that you will turn against yourself. I am not a cruel father who gives his child a loaded gun. I am a loving father who waits until his child has matured enough to handle the weight of what I am carrying toward you. So I have hidden you. You did not realize that, did you? You thought you were forgotten. You thought you were abandoned. You thought the silence meant I had moved on to someone more faithful, someone more gifted, someone more worthy. But the truth is far more beautiful. I have hidden you under the shadow of my wings. I have drawn a circle of protection around you that you cannot see with your physical eyes. You look at your life and see smallness. You see isolation. You see doors slamming shut. You see invitations that never come. You see your name fading from the lips of people who used to call you. But I look at the spiritual realm, and I see a war zone. I see predators circling, looking for someone to devour. I see envious eyes watching, waiting for you to step into the spotlight so they can shoot you down. I see demonic forces that have studied your weaknesses, your traumas, your triggers, and they have prepared a trap specifically designed for your destruction. And I have hidden you, Not to punish you, not to forget you, but to protect the fragile sprout of your destiny from being eaten before it breaks through the soil. A seed does not grow in the light. A seed grows in the dark, wet, pressed down earth. The pressure is not punishment. The darkness is not abandonment. The hiddenness is not rejection. It is the only environment where roots can grow deep enough to support the weight of the tree you are becoming. If I let you sprout too early, if I let you push up through the soil before your root system was ready, the first strong wind would uproot you. The first heat wave would scorch you. The first predator would devour you. I am not delaying your harvest. I am deepening your roots. You have been weeping over relationships that fell apart. You have been crying yourself to sleep, replaying conversations, wondering what you did wrong, wondering why they left, wondering why they betrayed you, wondering why they stopped believing in you. And I'm telling you, right it now. Stop weeping over what I have removed. Those people were not your support system. They were your ceiling. They loved you as long as you stayed small. They celebrated you as long as you did not outgrow them. They were comfortable with your brokenness because your brokenness made them feel better about their own. But when you began to heal, when you began to grow, when you began to reach for something higher, their envy could no longer hide. Their insecurity could no longer pretend, and I had to cut them off like a surgeon removing a tumor that had attached itself to your heart. You think you lost friends. I say you lost leeches. You think you were rejected. I say you were liberated. Those relationships were spiritual drains, siphoning your energy, your faith, your hope, your joy. They were not walking with you toward your destiny. They were anchors, chained to your ankles, dragging you backward every time you tried to swim forward. And in my mercy and my fierce protectiveness over your future, I cut the chains. I removed the anchors. I cleared the deck, not because I'm cruel, but because I'm preparing to load your ship with so much weight that no extra baggage could be tolerated. The cargo I'm bringing you is too heavy for a boat that is still full of old passengers who were never meant to come on the journey. Remember Abraham and Lot. They walked together for years. They shared the same journey. They shared the same faith. They shared the same resources. But the land could not support both of them. Their herds grew too large. Their wealth became too heavy, and a separation had to happen. It was not hateful. It was not vengeful. It was necessary. Abraham had to let Lot go, not because he stopped loving him, but because the blessing was too big for both of them to occupy the same space. And the moment Lot walked away, the moment the separation was complete, I spoke to Abraham in a way I had not spoken before. I told him to lift his eyes north, south, east, and west, because everything he could see was now his. The separation unlocked the inheritance. The distance released the promise. That is what I am doing in your life right now. I am clearing the field. I am widening your borders. I am removing the people who would have taken credit for your breakthrough. I am removing the voices that would have poisoned your miracle. I am removing the hands that would have tried to control your destiny. And you are sitting in your room crying over the emptiness when you should be standing up and shouting with joy because the clearing of the field is the first sign that the harvest is coming. The removal of the old is the announcement of the new. The silence of the phone is the sound of dead weight falling off your shoulders. But I know your heart is still heavy. I know the silence still scares you. You have been praying and praying and praying, and the heavens have felt like brass. You have been worshiping, and the presence you used to feel has pulled back. You have been seeking me, and the intimacy you once enjoyed has grown cold and distant, and you are afraid. You are afraid that you sinned too much. You are afraid that you missed your window. You are afraid that I have given your blessing to someone else. You are afraid that you are being punished for something you cannot even remember doing. Listen to me. I'm not punishing you. I'm elevating your test. The first level of faith is believing when you feel me close. That is easy. That requires almost no strength. A child can believe when the father is holding his hand in broad daylight, but the second level, the deeper level, the level that produces spiritual giants, is believing when you cannot feel me at all. It is trusting when every emotion in your body screams that I am far away. It is standing on my word when every circumstance in your life contradicts it. That is the faith that cannot be shaken. That is the faith that moves mountains. That is the faith that laughs at the future because it knows who holds it. I have pulled back my emotional presence not because I have left you, but because I am training you to stand without constant emotional reinforcement. I am weaning you from spiritual milk so you can eat solid food. I am teaching your spiritual legs to walk without holding my hand every second. This is not rejection. This is graduation. This is the most important season of your entire life, and you are mistaking it for abandonment. The silence is not emptiness. The silence is the sound of your faith growing muscles it never had before. Joseph spent 13 years in slavery and prison. 13 years. Do you think he felt me every day? Do you think the dungeon felt like a palace? Do you think he woke up every morning singing songs of victory while he was chained in the darkness? No. There were nights when Joseph wept. There were days when he wondered if the dream was a lie. There were moments when he looked at his wrists, raw from the shackles, and asked the same question you are asking. How long? How long, Lord? Have you forgotten me? Does the dream still stand? Will I ever see the light again? And I was silent. Not because I was absent, not because I had changed my mind, but because the dungeon was preparing him for the palace. The chains were teaching him compassion. The injustice was building his character. The waiting was forging his patience. And then, in a single day, in a single moment, everything changed. The cupbearer remembered. Pharaoh sent for him. The prison clothes were stripped off. The palace robes were put on. In one morning, Joseph went from the dungeon to the throne room. But here is what you must understand. If I had released Joseph even 1 year earlier, even 1 month earlier, even 1 day earlier, he would have run back to Canaan. He would have gone back to his father. He would have told his brothers what they did to him. He would have looked for revenge. He would have settled for safety instead of stepping into destiny. But I waited until the exact second when Joseph was ready. I waited until the exact second when his heart had been purified enough to handle power without corruption. I waited until the exact second when he could stand before Pharaoh and give me the glory instead of taking it for himself. That is what I am doing with you. I am not late. I am perfectly on time. You have a date with destiny that you cannot see on your calendar. There is an appointment in heaven that has already been set. The moment is coming when everything will shift, when the door will open, when the silence will break, when the waiting will end. But it will happen in my time, not yours. And I'm asking you right now, in this very moment, will you trust me? Will you trust me when you cannot see? Will you trust me when you cannot feel? Will you trust me when every voice in your head tells you to give up, to settle, to compromise, to take the shortcut? Because the shortcut will destroy you. I have watched you consider the shortcut. I have seen the temptation whisper in your ear late at night. Just make it happen yourself. Just force the door. Just take what you want and ask for forgiveness later. Just sleep with them. Just lie on the application. Just cheat a little. Just compromise a little. Everyone else is doing it. And I have been standing at the threshold of your soul, holding the door shut, not to trap you, but to save you. If I let you run ahead of me, you would run straight into a disaster so devastating that it would take you decades to recover. Ishmael was a shortcut. Abraham grew tired of waiting. Sarah grew impatient with the promise. And they decided to help me. They decided to force the blessing through Hagar. And the world is still bleeding from that decision thousands of years later. Ishmael became a wild donkey of a man. His hand was against everyone. The conflict between Isaac and Ishmael is still raging in the Middle East today. All because a man could not wait a little longer. Do not give birth to an Ishmael because you are too impatient to wait for Isaac. The waiting is not wasted. The waiting is the womb where the miracle is being formed. Every day of silence is another layer of preparation. Every closed door is another level of protection. Every lost relationship is another chain broken. I am not against you. I am for you, and because I am for you, I refuse to give you something that will destroy you. I love you too much to answer that prayer too soon. But there is something deeper I need to address, something you have never told anyone, something you have buried so deep that you have almost forgotten it yourself. The reason waiting is so painful for you is not just the delay, it is the wound. Somewhere in your past, someone spoke a verdict over your life that you have been carrying like a heavy coat ever since. They told you that you would never amount to anything. They told you that you were ordinary. They told you that you were a mistake. They told you that you were too much and not enough at the same time. They looked at you with disappointment when you were just a child, and that look carved itself into your soul. And ever since that moment, you have been trying to prove them wrong. You have been running from that verdict. You have been chasing approval, chasing success, chasing validation, trying to silence the voice in your head that still whispers those old words. And that is why the waiting feels like death. Because in the waiting, there is no proof. In the silence, there is no validation. In the hiddenness, there is no one clapping for you. And your wounded heart interprets the silence as agreement with your abusers. You think I am quiet because they were right. You think I am delaying because you really are ordinary. You think the closed doors are proof that you will never be anything. That is a lie from the pit of hell, and I need you to hear me clearly. I have never agreed with the voices that cursed you. I have never nodded along when they spoke death over your life. I was there when you were formed in secret. I knit you together in your mother's womb. I knew you before you took your first breath. I saw the rejection you would face, and I wept with you. I saw the wounds that would be carved into your heart, and I prepared a healing balm for every single one. But you have been carrying those wounds as if they were your identity. You have been wearing those labels as if I approved them. And I'm telling you right now, drop them. Take off that heavy coat. Those words do not belong to you. That verdict was never final. I am the final authority over your life, not the broken people who spoke curses over you in their own pain and insecurity. Do you remember Gideon? He was hiding in a wine press, threshing wheat in secret because he was terrified of the Midianites. He was small. He was afraid. He came from the weakest clan in Manasseh, and he was the least in his father's house. By every human measurement, Gideon was a nobody. And I looked at him, hiding in the darkness, trembling with fear, and I said, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." Mighty warrior. I didn't call him what he was. I called him what he was becoming. I ignored his present reality and spoke directly to his potential. I bypassed his fear and named his destiny. And that word, that single word spoken from my mouth, became the seed that turned a frightened farmer into a general who defeated an army of thousands with nothing but torches and trumpets. That is what I'm speaking over you right now. You cannot see it, you cannot feel it, but I am calling you mighty. I am calling you chosen. I am calling you a carrier of glory. I am calling you a healer of nations. I am calling you a breakthrough specialist. I am calling you a generational curse breaker. You look at your life and see brokenness. I look at your life and see raw materials for a masterpiece. You look at your past and see disqualification. I look at your past and see the very testimony that will open doors no man can shut. You have been looking at the wrong mirror. You have been looking at the mirror of human opinion, the mirror of your failures, the mirror of your trauma. I need you to turn around and look into my eyes. When you look into my eyes, you do not see disappointment. You do not see disgust. You do not see impatience. You see love. You see pride. You see anticipation. You see a father who cannot wait to show the world what he has hidden in you. So wait a little longer. I know you are tired. I know you have been waiting longer than you thought you would have to wait. I know the midnight hours feel eternal. I know the loneliness has become a familiar, unwelcome roommate. I know you have been tempted to settle for less just to feel something different. But I'm asking you for a little more trust, a little more patience, a little more faith. The dawn is closer than you think. The breakthrough is breathing down the neck of your breaking point. The surprise I am preparing is so much greater than anything you have asked for. You have been praying for a door. I am preparing a cathedral. You have been praying for a meal. I am preparing a feast. You have been praying for a job. I am preparing a platform. You have been praying for a spouse. I am preparing a partnership that will echo into eternity. You cannot imagine what I am about to do. Your best dream is not as good as my smallest plan. Your highest hope is not as high as my lowest intention for your life. I'm not a God who gives barely enough. I am a God who opens the windows of heaven and pours out so much blessing that there is not room enough to receive it. But the vessel must be ready. The heart must be pure. The character must be formed. The roots must be deep. And that is what this painful season is all about. I'm not keeping good things from you. I'm preparing you for good things you cannot yet comprehend. Do you remember Joseph again? When he finally stood before Pharaoh, he did not just get a promotion. He got a ring, a robe, a chain of gold, a chariot, and authority over the entire nation of Egypt. The years of suffering were not just forgotten. They were supernaturally compensated. The enemy who meant it for evil, I turned it for good. The dungeon became a launching pad. The betrayal became a bridge. The isolation became a coronation. And that is your story too. Every tear you have cried has been tracked. Every sleepless night has been recorded. Every act of faithfulness in the dark has been noted. And I am a God who pays back. I am a God who restores. I am a God who takes the years the locusts have eaten and returns them with interest. You think you have lost time. I say you have been investing time. You think you have been stuck. I say you have been planted. And planting always comes before harvest. The seed must die in the dark before the plant can live in the light. That is not cruelty. That is biology. That is the way growth works in my kingdom. So do not despise the dark soil. Do not curse the pressure. Do not scream at the waiting. Instead, rest. Rest in the hiddenness. Stop striving. Stop trying to make doors open with your own strength. Stop trying to force relationships that I have severed. Stop trying to manufacture blessings that I have not yet authorized. Be still. Be still, and know that I am God. I am working while you are waiting. I am moving while you are resting. I'm coordinating events, moving people, aligning circumstances, shifting spiritual atmospheres, all for your good. You do not need to help me. You do not need to push the river. You just need to trust. You just need to wait. You just need to remain faithful in the small things while I prepare the great things. And here is the secret that will change everything for you. Stop waiting for the blessing. Start waiting on me. Do you see the difference? When you wait for the blessing, every day of delay is torture. But when you wait on me, every day is an opportunity to know me deeper, to love me more, to rest in my presence. The blessing is not the point. I am the point. The breakthrough is not the goal. I am the goal. You have been so focused on what I can give you that you have almost missed who I am. I am not a vending machine. I am your Father. I am not a delivery service. I am your home. When you truly understand that, the waiting loses its power to hurt you. Because even if the blessing never came, even if the door never opened, even if the breakthrough never happened, you would still have me. And I am enough. I have always been enough. You just forgot. Come back to me. Come back to the place where my presence is your prize. Come back to the place where my voice is your validation. Come back to the place where my love is your identity. And when you are there, when you are resting in me, I will release the blessings. Not because you begged enough, not because you earned them, but because you trusted me enough to let them go. The paradox of the kingdom is that you only receive when you stop grasping. You only find when you stop searching. You only enter the promised land when you stop trying to conquer it in your own strength. So wait a little longer, my child. The surprise is closer than you think. The dawn is about to break. The silence is about to shatter. The door is about to swing open so wide that you will laugh at how small your prayers used to be. You have been asking for a stream. I am bringing a river. You have been asking for a candle. I am bringing the sun. You have been asking for a temporary relief. I am bringing an eternal transformation. The pain you are feeling right now is not pointless. It is the labor pain of something being born. And birth always hurts before it heals. The darkness always feels permanent right before the light comes. The waiting always feels endless in the final mile. But I am telling you, turn around. Look at how far you have come. You are not where you used to be. You have grown. You have changed. You have been refined. The fire has not destroyed you. It has purified you. The flood has not drowned you. It has floated you. The wilderness has not killed you. It has strengthened you. And you are so much closer to your promised land than you realize. Do not turn back now. Do not settle for the wilderness when the milk and honey are just over the horizon. Do not build your tent in the desert when the city with foundations is waiting for you. I have not forgotten you. I have not abandoned you. I have not changed my mind about you. The promise is still alive. The dream is still breathing. The destiny is still marching toward you. And in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, everything will change. The phone will ring. The door will open. The check will come. The healing will manifest. The reconciliation will happen. The breakthrough will break through. And you will look back at this season and realize that it was not a punishment. It was the most important preparation of your entire life. So hold on. Hold on with everything you have left. I know you are running on fumes. I know you are exhausted. I know the temptation to give up is screaming in your ears. But hold on. I am closer than the air you breathe. I am nearer than your own heartbeat. I have not left you alone in this fight. I have been carrying you when you could not walk. I have been fighting for you when you could not lift your sword. I have been speaking your name before the throne of grace every single moment of every single day. You are not forgotten. You are remembered. You are not rejected. You are chosen. You are not disqualified. You are destined. Wait a little longer. The surprise is almost here. And when it arrives, when the veil finally tears, when the silence finally breaks, you will fall to your knees, not because of what I gave you, but because of who I have been to you in the waiting. You will realize that the gift was never the point. I was the point. I have always been the point. And I am worth every single tear, every single sleepless night, every single moment of confusion. I am worth it all. So rest now. Stop striving. Stop worrying. Stop trying to figure out the how and the when. That is not your job. Your job is to trust. Your job is to remain faithful. Your job is to keep loving me even when you do not understand. And I will take care of the rest. I will open the doors. I will move the mountains. I will silence your accusers. I will vindicate you before everyone who doubted you. I will set a table before you in the presence of your enemies. I will restore everything that was stolen. I will heal every wound. I will answer every question. I will satisfy every longing. Just wait a little longer, my child. I am not late. I am right on time. And the surprise I'm carrying for you is so much greater than anything you have lost. Lift up your head. Take a deep breath. The dawn is coming, and it is going to take your breath away. You are not alone. You have never been alone, and you never will be alone. I am with you. I am for you. I am in you. And together we will walk through this door into a future so bright that the past will become nothing but a faint shadow in the rearview mirror. Wait a little longer. I love you. I've never stopped loving you, and I'm about to show you just how much. You are still here. You did not walk away. You did not give up. You stayed, even when every bone in your body wanted to run, even when the confusion felt like a fog so thick you could not see your own hand in front of your face, even when the pain wrapped itself around your chest and squeezed until you forgot how to breathe. You stayed, and I saw that. I have always seen that. In the moments when you thought no one was watching, when you were alone in the dark with nothing but your tears and your questions, I was there. I was not distant. I was not distracted. I was closer than the air filling your lungs, watching you choose me again and again, even when you felt nothing, even when you received nothing, even when every sign pointed toward the lie that I had abandoned you. You do not know how rare that is. You do not understand what your faithfulness in the hidden place means in the realm of the Spirit. While the world chases spectacle, while religion performs on stage, while the proud shout their accomplishments from rooftops, you've been kneeling in the dust, crying out for me with a voice so raw and so honest that angels have stopped to listen. Your whispered prayers have become incense in the throne room. Your quiet tears have become rivers that water the dry places of the earth. You think you've been wasting time. You think you have been falling behind. You think everyone else is running ahead while you are stuck in the mud. But I tell you the truth, you are not behind. You are being positioned. And positioning always looks like nothing before it looks like everything. I need you to understand something that will change how you see this entire season. You have been asking me when the breakthrough will come. You have been counting days and weeks and months. You have been circling dates on calendars, hoping, praying, believing that this time, surely this time, the door will open. But you have been measuring time the way humans measure time, and you have missed the geometry of the Spirit. I do not work on clocks. I work on covenants. I do not follow calendars. I follow character. The breakthrough is not late. It is waiting for something inside you to shift, something that cannot be rushed, something that cannot be forced, something that only the pressure of the waiting itself can produce. Think of the deepest wounds you carry, the ones you hide from everyone, the ones you have learned to smile over so no one asks questions, the ones that wake you up in the middle of the night with a weight so heavy you cannot move. I have watched you medicate those wounds with distractions, with busyness, with relationships that demanded nothing real from you, with accomplishments that whispered you were enough, but only for a moment. And I have watched those wounds fester beneath the surface, infecting everything you touch, poisoning your perception, making you see threats where there is only love, making you see rejection where there is only invitation. The waiting is not punishment. The waiting is surgery, and I am the great physician standing over the open cavity of your heart, removing the shrapnel that has been lodged there for decades. You did not even know it was there. You had learned to live with the pain. You had built your entire life around avoiding the triggers. You changed the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you love, the way you let yourself be loved. You built walls so high and so thick that you forgot you were the one who built them. You told yourself the walls were protection, and they were, for a season. But now the season has changed. The walls that once protected you have become a prison. The very thing that kept you safe is now keeping you small. And I have to tear them down, stone by stone, brick by brick, and the demolition is loud, it is messy, it is painful. It feels like you are being destroyed. But you are not being destroyed, you are being liberated. Do you remember the story of Peter, the man who walked on water, the man who saw the Messiah with his own eyes, the man who declared that Jesus was the Son of the living God? And then, in a moment of fear, in a moment of weakness, he denied even knowing me. 3 times, not once. 3 times. He swore, he cursed, he lied. And then the rooster crowed, and Peter ran outside and wept bitterly. He thought he was finished. He thought he had disqualified himself forever. He thought his failure was greater than my grace. And he went back to fishing, back to what he knew, back to the boat, back to the nets, because it was safer there, easier there, less painful there. But I did not leave him in that boat. I came to the shore. I built a fire. I cooked breakfast, and I asked him the same question 3 times. Peter, do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? Each question was a scalpel, cutting away the shame, cutting away the guilt, cutting away the lie that his failure had defined him. And when the surgery was complete, when the wound was finally clean, I told him to feed my sheep. I gave him his destiny back, not in spite of his failure, through it. That is what I'm doing with you. The waiting is the shoreline where I have built a fire. The silence is the space where I am asking you the hard questions. Do you love me? Not for what I give you, not for what I can do for you, not for the breakthrough, not for the blessing, not for the open door. Do you love me when the answer is no? Do you love me when the healing does not come? Do you love me when the marriage fails? Do you love me when the business collapses? Do you love me when the diagnosis is terminal? Do you love me when your children walk away? Do you love me when the church rejects you? Do you love me when the world cancels you? Do you love me when you cannot feel me? Do you love me when you cannot hear me? Do you love me when every instinct in your body screams that I am not real? That is the question of the waiting. That is the test of the silence. And I already know your answer. I have seen your heart in the darkest hours. I have heard your whispered "I love you" when you had no proof that I was listening. I have watched you worship with tears streaming down your face when everything in your life was screaming that I had forgotten you. You have already passed the test. You just do not know it yet. The waiting is not because I'm trying to decide if you are worthy. The waiting is because I'm trying to show you that you already are. The breakthrough is not conditional on your performance. It is conditional on your positioning. And you are almost there. There is a story you have not considered. A story of a woman who waited in a way that broke every rule. Her name was Esther. She was an orphan, a captive, a girl with no power, no position, no protection. And she was taken into a palace, not because she deserved it, but because I was positioning her for a moment she could not see. For months she was prepared, bathed in oils, taught the ways of the court, hidden in the house of the women, waiting, 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 and all around her a plot was forming. A wicked man named Haman had convinced the king to sign a decree that would destroy her entire people. A date was set. A genocide was scheduled, and Esther did not even know. She was in the palace, living her life, unaware that the clock was ticking toward the destruction of everyone she loved. And then her cousin Mordecai sent her a message that has echoed through the ages. Do not think that because you are in the king's house, you alone will escape. For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance will arise from another place. But who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this? Such a time as this. Esther had to make a choice. She could stay hidden, she could stay safe, she could wait for someone else to act, or she could step into the unknown, approach the king without being summoned, and risk her life for the sake of her people. I have not brought you to this place to hide forever. I have hidden you to prepare you, but the hiding always ends. The preparation always leads to presentation. And the presentation always requires courage. You have been in the house of the women. You have been bathed in the oils of my presence. You have been taught the ways of my kingdom. You have been positioned in the palace of my purpose. And all around you, the enemy has been plotting. He has been signing decrees. He has been setting dates. He has been whispering that your destruction is certain, that your situation is hopeless, that the king's scepter will never be extended to you. But the enemy does not know what I know. He does not see what I see. He does not realize that I have placed you exactly where you need to be, exactly when you need to be there. He thought he was setting a trap for you. He did not realize that the trap was for him. The waiting is almost over. The moment is coming when you will have to step out of the hidden place and approach the throne. And you are afraid. You are afraid that the scepter will not be extended. You are afraid that you will be struck down. You are afraid that you have misread the signs, that you are not really Esther, that you are just an orphan playing dress-up in a palace that does not belong to you. But I'm telling you, you have not misread anything. I have prepared you for this moment. The very fear you feel is the evidence that you are human. The very trembling in your hands is the proof that you are real. And I do not need you to be fearless. I just need you to be faithful. Move anyway. Speak anyway. Step forward anyway. The scepter is already extended. The king has already smiled. The door has already been opened. You just have to walk through. But I know there is more. Beneath the fear of stepping forward, there is another layer, a deeper wound. A voice that has followed you since childhood, whispering that you are not enough, not smart enough, not talented enough, not disciplined enough, not holy enough, not worthy enough. And that voice has become so familiar that you have mistaken it for truth. You have built your entire life around compensating for that voice, working harder, trying to prove it wrong, striving to earn what has already been given. And the waiting season has been agonizing for you because in the waiting, there is nothing to prove, nothing to earn, nothing to strive for. The waiting forces you to sit with that voice, to listen to it, to face it, and you have been running from that voice your whole life. Do you remember David? Not the king, not the giant slayer, not the man after my own heart. I want you to remember David the shepherd boy, the youngest of 8 brothers, the one his father did not even bother to call when the prophet Samuel came to town. The one who was left alone in the fields with the sheep while his brothers stood before the prophet, waiting to be anointed. David was overlooked, forgotten, considered insignificant, and somewhere in his childhood, he learned the same voice you learned, the voice that said, "You do not matter. You are not important. No one sees you. No one values you." But I saw off it. I saw him fighting lions and bears in the wilderness when no one was watching. I saw him playing his harp and singing songs that no one heard. I saw him developing the strength and the sensitivity that would one day make him the greatest king in Israel's history. I was preparing him in the hidden place. I was anointing him in the silence. I was choosing him when no one else would. And then Goliath came, the giant, the enemy who had terrorized the armies of Israel for 40 days. Every soldier was afraid. Every warrior hid. But David walked onto the battlefield with nothing but a sling and 5 smooth stones. He did not see a giant. He saw an opportunity. He did not see a threat. He saw a testimony. Because David had already defeated bigger enemies in the hidden place. He had already killed the lion. He had already killed the bear. The giant was just another battle in a war he had already won. That is what the waiting has been for you. The lions you have faced in the darkness, the bears you have fought when no one was cheering, the battles you have won in secret, they were not wasted, they were training. And the giant you are facing now, the one that terrifies you, the one that seems impossible to defeat, is nothing compared to what you have already overcome. You just do not remember, because the hidden battles are easy to forget. But I remember. I remember every swing of the sword, every cry of desperation, every moment when you thought you could not take another step, but you took it anyway. You are not weak. You are battle-hardened. You are not afraid. You are misremembering. The warrior inside you is not dead. He is just waking up. She is just stretching her muscles after a long sleep. The waiting has not made you weaker. The waiting has made you lethal. The enemy does not know what is about to hit him. He thinks you are still the same person you were when the waiting started. He thinks you are still afraid, still insecure, still reactive, still desperate for approval. But you are not that person anymore. The fire has burned away the dross. The pressure has compressed the coal into diamond. The darkness has forced your roots deep into the soil of my love. You are not the same. And the moment you step out of the hidden place, the enemy is going to realize that he has made a fatal mistake. He thought he was isolating you. He was actually insulating you. He thought he was silencing you. He was actually strengthening you. He thought he was destroying your future. He was actually forging your sword. So why are you still trembling? Why are you still hesitating? Why are you still looking back at the Egypt of your past, wondering if it was really so bad? I know the familiar is comfortable. I know the known is safe. I know the chains, as painful as they were predictable. You knew what to expect. You knew how to survive. But the promised land is unpredictable. The wilderness is uncertain. The giants are real. And the part of you that is still wounded, the part of you that learned to survive by staying small, is screaming at you to turn back, to settle for less, to build a monument to your fear and call it wisdom. But I did not bring you this far to leave you here. I did not part the Red Sea for you to drown on the other side. I did not rain manna from heaven for you to starve in the wilderness. I did not lead you with a pillar of fire for you to stumble in the dark. I am still leading you. I am still guiding you. I am still holding your hand, even when you cannot feel my fingers wrapped around yours. The promised land is not a myth. The breakthrough is not a fantasy. The blessing is not a lie. It is real. It is waiting. And it is closer than you think. But you must do one thing. You must forgive. I know you did not expect that. You thought I would say work harder or pray longer or give more. But I am saying forgive. Forgive the one who wounded you. Forgive the parent who rejected you. Forgive the spouse who betrayed you. Forgive the friend who abandoned you. Forgive the pastor who used you. Forgive the church that hurt you. Forgive the system that overlooked you. Forgive yourself for the mistakes you cannot undo. Forgive yourself for the words you cannot take back. Forgive yourself for the years you wasted trying to earn what was already free. The unforgiveness in your heart is like a chain wrapped around your ankles. You have been trying to run your race while dragging the weight of every person who has ever hurt you. You have been asking me for open doors while holding the door of your heart shut against those who have wronged you. I cannot take you where you want to go while you're still carrying that weight. I cannot bless what you are holding against someone else. The forgiveness is not for them. They may never know. They may never apologize. They may never change. The forgiveness is for you. It is the key that unlocks the prison door you have been living behind. It is the scissors that cut the ropes that have been binding your hands. It is the medicine that heals the wound that has been festering for years. I know it is hard. I know it feels impossible. I know that what they did to you was wrong, deeply wrong, and forgiving them feels like saying what they did was okay. But that is not what forgiveness means. Forgiveness is not saying it was okay. Forgiveness is saying I'm not going to let what you did control me anymore. I'm not going to let your sin become my prison. I'm not going to let the weight of your offense anchor me to the past. I'm cutting the rope. I'm leaving the weight. I'm walking free. And I'm giving the judgment to the only one who sees the whole story, who knows every detail, who will make all things right in the end. You have been carrying that burden long enough. You have been replaying that conversation long enough. You have been imagining what you would say if you ever got the chance long enough. It is time to put it down. It is time to let it go. It is time to walk away from that grave and stop trying to raise the dead. What they did to you is dead. Bury it. What you did to yourself is over. Leave it. The past is not coming back to life. But your future is, and your future is too bright to be seen through the lens of yesterday's pain. I am doing a new thing. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. The old has passed away. The new has come. But you cannot see the new if you are still staring at the old. You cannot walk into the new if you are still dragging the old behind you. You cannot embrace the new if your arms are still full of the old. Open your hands. Drop the grudges. Drop the grievances. Drop the guilt. Drop the shame. Drop the fear. Drop the control. Empty your hands so I can fill them. Empty your heart so I can heal it. Empty your future so I can fulfill it. You have been waiting for me to move, but I have been waiting for you to release. Release the pain. Release the people. Release the plans. Release the timeline. Release the need to understand. Release the need to control. Release the need to be right. Release the need to be validated. Release the need to be seen. Release the need to be appreciated. Release the need to be understood. Release the need to be in charge. Release the need to know how. Release the need to know when. Release the need to know why. Just release. Open your hands. Open your heart. Open your future. And trust me. I know that trust has been broken before. I know that people you trusted failed you. I know that promises made to you were broken. I know that you learned to trust no one because everyone eventually let you down. But I am not everyone. I am not a man that I should lie. I am not a human that I should change my mind. I have never broken a promise. I have never failed to come through. I have never abandoned my children. Every word I've ever spoken stands forever. Every covenant I've ever made is unbreakable. Every promise I've ever whispered in your ear is yes and amen. You can trust me. You can rest in me. You can release control to me. I have never dropped you. I have never lost you. I have never forgotten you. Even when you forgot yourself, even when you lost your way, even when you walked away, I was still there. I'm still here, and I am never leaving. The waiting is almost over. The silence is about to break. The dawn is about to shatter the darkness. I can feel your trembling. I can hear your heartbeat. I can see the fear and the hope wrestling in your chest. Both of them are real. Both of them are valid. But hope is about to win. Hope always wins when it is rooted in me. Not wishful thinking, not positive vibes, not blind optimism. Hope rooted in the character of the one who has never lost a battle, never failed a child, never missed a moment. Hope that knows I am who I say I am, and I will do what I said I will do. That hope is about to become sight. You have been in the tunnel so long that you have forgotten what the sun feels like. You have been in the storm so long that you have forgotten what calm sounds like. You have been in the battle so long that you have forgotten what peace tastes like. But the tunnel has an end. The storm has a silence. The battle has a victory. And you are closer than you realize. Do not give up in the final mile. Do not turn back when the prize is just ahead. Do not settle for the wilderness when the promised land is spread out before you. Take a deep breath. Wipe your eyes. Lift your chin. You are not who you were. You are not where you were. You are not going back to what you left. The door behind you is closed. The door ahead of you is opening, and I'm standing on the other side waiting for you, smiling at you, proud of you. Not because you are perfect, not because you never failed, but because you never stopped coming back. You never stopped getting up. You never stopped believing. And that is the heart I'm looking for. That is the faith that moves mountains. That is the trust that unlocks heaven. So come. Come out of the hiding. Come out of the fear. Come out of the shame. Come out of the smallness. Come out of the survival mode. Come out of the scarcity mindset. Come out of the orphan spirit. Come out of the grave clothes. Come out of the tomb. I am calling your name, the same way I called Lazarus, the same way I called Mary, the same way I called Matthew, the same way I called Paul. I'm calling you. Not because you deserve it, because I love you. Not because you earned it, because I chose you. Not because you are ready, because I am ready to make you ready. Do you hear me? The stone is being rolled away. The light is flooding into the dark places. The grave cannot hold you anymore. The past cannot define you anymore. The fear cannot control you anymore. The waiting is over. The new is here. And I'm about to do something in your life that will make your past look like a shadow and your future look like the sun. You thought you were being forgotten. You were being forged. You thought you were being abandoned. You were being anchored. You thought you were being destroyed. You were being delivered. Wait no longer. The surprise is here. And it is more beautiful than you ever imagined. Open your eyes. Open your hands. Open your heart. Receive what I have been carrying for you. Receive what I have been protecting for you. Receive what I have been preparing for you. It is yours. It has always been yours. You just had to become the person who could carry it. And now you have. Now you are. Now you will. Go. Walk through the door. Speak the word. Take the step. Make the call. Send the message. Start the business. Write the book. Sing the song. Love the person. Heal the wound. Forgive the unforgivable. Trust the untrustable. Believe the unbelievable. Because I'm with you. I am for you. I am in you. And nothing, absolutely nothing, can stand against you when I am on your side. The waiting is over. The surprise is here. And you are finally ready.